What's up, good people? So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the reclassification of certain degrees, some of them not being considered professional degrees. One in particular that's been very popular, that's gotten a lot of buzz, is the nursing degree, considered to be not professional, which would essentially make it, will give them limitations on how much money they can borrow towards a degree at a federal level. So anyway, I saw this clip and I wanted y'all to check it out. I'm going to share it with you and you tell me what you think.
As a professional degree program, saying, quote, the department did not update the federal definition of professional degree to exclude nursing, going on to say the definition never included it. Meanwhile, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing says the Trump administration's attempt to implement several measures outlined in the president's One Big Beautiful Bill will limit the loans student nurses can access. Anjali Kamlani is here to break this all down. Anjali, thank you so much for joining me. Can you clear up some of the confusion here and how it got to this point?
Yeah, we know that, of course, the medical professions have been really pressured in recent past, especially because of the shortage of doctors. And what that's really put is the spotlight on nurses to kind of pick up the slack, if you will. They've been doing more. They've been fighting to do more state by state. There have been, ways to include and equalize the work and recognize the work that nurses do in clinical settings. And this is why this got triggered into such a hot button issue, because it almost created a step backwards in that fight. For years, we've seen burnout, especially in the post-pandemic era, where nurses now saying about 60% of those, according to the American Nurses Association, of nurses are claiming to feel burnt out. And that trend has continued. We've been seeing over the years that trend. And so the reason why this is important is because if they are disincluded from that list, then it really limits the opportunity for nurses to get licensed and then therefore to earn better. And so you're looking at being put in sort of the general professional category rather than this specialized category. And so that limits their tuition loan amounts. And that's really going to put more pressure if fewer nurses decide to get licensed.
Now, Anjali, where does this leave the states? And how does this affect health professionals in rural parts of the country? Because we know they're getting affected so much more than other areas of the country.
Yeah, this actually puts even more of a spotlight on that, because as I was explaining about the nurses taking on more of a role, that's especially where they do. More states where they have larger rural areas have really pushed to give nurses more responsibility and more authority on patient care in the past several years. And so if nurses are unable to get those degrees and to move out to or work in these rural areas, that's going to put even more pressure on the ability for individuals to get care in these areas. And so this is really just exacerbating an existing issue.
So what do these new rules say about what students can borrow or the costs future students could face?
Right. So if they were allowed to be part of this list, they could borrow up to 200,000, and so they would be pushed back to 100,000 for the total degree. Now that does fall into the category for some smaller areas. Lower cost could fall into that category, but there are areas of the country where schooling does cost more, and so the annual cost does add up. So that for the whole degree, they would have to borrow up to or close to 200,000. And so this really puts a damper on sort of where you'll see folks being able to get their degrees if they're not included in this category.
All right, Anjali Kamlani, thank you so much for your analysis.
It appears that the reason why this has become an issue is because the student loans that they take out for 200,000, they can't pay them back, especially if you're a nurse in a rural area. You know, a lot of these loans and federal loans they have are never paid back. So somebody suffers. In federal grants, you know, any grant or any money you get from the federal government never goes away. It's not like a loan drops off of your credit in 7 years, that kind of thing. It just is there. So yeah, I think the bigger issue financially is that. But I want to have the best nurses, the best training, professional status at the best schools so I can get the best care. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. So what do y'all think the solution is? Should they pay them more? Should they have more programs that are less expensive? Or any other suggestion you might have? But we need our nurses. We need them for sure. I know the biggest issue right now is about the bottom dollar. That's what it's about. It's about the bottom dollar. So that's a trade-off. Trade-off for a lot of people. Anyway, y'all tell me what you think. Peace.